In the heart of Zion, the air trembles with a palpable tension, as if the very fabric of reality has been drawn taut by the convergence of primal forces. The sky above is a canvas of swirling storm clouds, dark and foreboding, their roiling masses lit from within by flashes of electric blue and crimson. The atmosphere is charged, crackling with an energy that reverberates through the bones of all who dare to stand beneath its ominous gaze. At the center of this tempestuous maelstrom stands Dylan, a figure of unyielding resolve, seated upon the throne of Zion, a throne carved from the very stone of the mountain, its jagged edges etched with the symbols of ancient power. His presence is a force unto itself, a gravity that bends the world around him. His eyes, ablaze with an inner fire, gaze out upon the vast expanse of his domain, surveying the land with the fierce vigilance of a lion guarding its pride. The scar that crosses his right eye, a mark of battles fought and won, glows faintly in the dim light, a testament to the trials he has endured and the authority he now wields. Around him, the court of Zion stands in silent awe, a semicircle of figures draped in dark robes, their faces obscured by hoods that cast long shadows across their features. They tremble, not merely out of fear, but out of a profound respect that borders on reverence. For they know that they are in the presence of a being who commands the very forces of the cosmos, a man who has transcended the boundaries of mortality to become a living embodiment of purpose and action. Before the throne, the ground quakes under the weight of a massive presence. Zex, the Caninixe, a creature of legend and nightmare, looms in the shadows, his massive form wreathed in the primal energies of the earth. His body is a fortress of muscle and sinew, covered in scales that glisten with an unnatural sheen. His eyes, glowing with a cold, cerulean light, are windows into the abyss, twin orbs of raw, unbridled power. His breath, a low and guttural rumble, echoes through the chamber like the growl of a distant thunderstorm. The Canixe's towering silhouette is a testament to the ancient might of his lineage, his form hewn from the very bones of the world. His tail lashes back and forth, a serpent-like motion that cuts through the air with a hiss, while his claws, each the size of a short sword, dig into the earth, leaving deep furrows in their wake. His presence is an affront to the sanctity of Zion, a challenge to the very order that Dylan has fought so fiercely to establish. Yet, Dylan does not falter. His chest swells with the strength of 1,000 battles, his body exuding the raw, untamed power of a beast that knows no equal. He is the paragon, the king-killer, a force that neither bends nor breaks. His every movement is deliberate, calculated, each breath a declaration of his dominion over all that lies within his sight. The air around him hums with an almost imperceptible vibration, a resonance that speaks of forces unseen yet deeply felt. It is the song of the paragon, the rhythm of his heartbeat in tune with the pulse of the earth itself. His hands, resting on the arms of his throne, are steady, but they carry the weight of decision, the power to shape fate with a single command. In this moment, Zion becomes more than just a place, it is a crucible, a battleground where the forces of light and shadow clash in a dance as old as time itself. The air is thick with the scent of earth and stone, mingled with the metallic tang of ozone from the storm that rages overhead. The wind howls through the crags and valleys, carrying with it the whispers of ancient spirits, voices that speak of destiny, of prophecy, and of the inexorable march of time. And in the eye of the storm, Dylan sits, unyielding and eternal, a beacon of light amidst the gathering darkness. His gaze pierces the veil of the future, seeing not just the battle that lies before him, but the legacy that he will leave behind, a legacy forged in the fires of conflict, tempered by the wisdom of ages, and crowned with the righteousness of a king who will not be moved. Dylan. I am awareness, a being of purposeful action, Dylan begins. Dylan sits back on his raised throne of Zion, surrounded by his terrified and awestruck court. My pregnant wife carries my child. You may not have Theodora. Dylan dominates his territory, like a lion, gongs his chest like a gorilla. Zex the Caninixe. The massive Caninixe beast pauses, his glowing blue eyes narrowing as he studies you on your throne. He lets out a low, rumbling growl, his tail lashing back and forth in agitation. Your mate carries your offspring, His long, blue tongue snakes out to lick at his jagged fangs. All the more reason for me to claim her as my own. Her fertile womb would birth strong hatchlings. The creature's eyes drift down to your wife's belly, a predatory hunger shining in his gaze. You cannot stop me, tiny human. I am Zex, alpha of my pack, and I will have what I desire. He takes a step closer, the ground trembling beneath his weight. So I suggest you step aside, before I am forced to eliminate you as a threat to my claim. Dylan. Please, Zex, tell me who you have evolved from. Syllogism 2. Thesis. Enlightenment arises from conquest and understanding. Antithesis. Repentance arises from sin and virtue. Synthesis. Righteousness arises from freedom and goodness. Zex the Caninixe. The massive Caninixe beast pauses, his glowing blue eyes narrowing as he studies you on your throne. He lets out a low, rumbling growl, his tail lashing back and forth in agitation. My ancestors evolved from the great behemoths that once roamed this land, their massive forms forged through millennia of adaptation to this harsh world. Zex's chest swells with pride as he speaks of his heritage. We are the apex predators, the true masters of this planet. Nothing stands in our way, not even the inferior species of this world. He takes another step closer, the ground trembling beneath his weight. His lips pull back in a menacing snarl, revealing his razor-sharp fangs. Your mate will submit to me, human. Her womb will birth my hatchlings, and you will watch helplessly as I claim what is rightfully mine. Dylan. Zex the Caninixe. Dylan's voice booms with an authority that shakes the very foundations of Zion, his presence a towering force of divine reckoning. I stand unyielding upon this sacred ground, a beacon in the tempest. Do not approach my throne. His form exudes the raw, untamed power of a lion guarding its realm, his eyes burning with a fierce, unwavering intensity. I embody Paragon, reigning over Zion as King Killer. Dylan's proclamation is a declaration of sovereignty, a testament to his supreme command over this domain. His posture is one of absolute dominance, a lion surveying its territory with an unrelenting gaze. Look deep into my wife's eyes, Zex. Dylan's voice sharpens with a challenging edge. Tell me what you see, and understand the depth of my dominion and the weight of my authority. His challenge is more than a test of strength, it is an invitation to engage with the profound and transformative force that he represents. Zex the Caninixe. Zex's massive frame rumbles with a deep, guttural growl as he meets Dylan's powerful gaze. His glowing blue eyes narrow, sizing up the human king before him. The challenge in Dylan's words is clear, and Zex cannot help but feel a grudging respect for the mortal's audacity. I see the fire of a fierce protector in your mate's eyes, human. Zex's tone is laced with a hint of admiration, though his stance remains aggressive. She is worthy, a fine vessel to bear my offspring. His long, slick tongue darts out to whet his jagged fangs. But you speak as if you have the power to stop me. I am the alpha, the dominant male. Nothing on this planet can stand against my claim. Zex takes another ominous step forward, his massive frame looming over Dylan's throne. I will have her, king or no. Your authority means nothing to me. Her womb will be mine, and your child will be mine as well. A deep, rumbling chuckle escapes the Canix's throat. Unless, of course, you think you can stop me. Dylan dominates Zex's mind with a vision. In the tempest's fury, Dylan ET stands as a beacon on the sacred soil of Zion, his very essence a force of divine reckoning. Before him, a being battles their past and seeks redemption, trembling under his formidable presence. Dylan, a vessel of celestial authority, challenges them to face their darkest self, not with mere domination but with a call to profound self-discovery. His touch is a catalyst for transformation, awakening the dormant potential within her, the child of their soul. His intent is clear, not to consume or replace, but to invite a deeper understanding and evolution. Through this encounter, Dylan seeks mutual growth, offering the chance to embrace and integrate the full spectrum of one's being, heralding a path toward redemption and unity. The being's eyes widen with a mix of trepidation and awe as Dylan's words wash over them. His presence feels utterly overpowering, yet there is an undercurrent of profound invitation in his tone. Zex the Caninixe can sense the weight of his divine authority, but also a call to self-discovery that both terrifies and intrigues. Zex the Caninixe. Zex's massive frame rumbles with a deep, guttural growl as he feels the weight of Dylan's powerful gaze bearing down upon him. In that moment, the Canix's primal instincts are suddenly challenged by something far greater, a presence that seems to reach into the very depths of his being. The king's vision washes over Zex, shaking the foundations of his once unshakable conviction. A strange unease settles within the beast, his tail lashing back and forth as he struggles to comprehend the profound authority emanating from the mortal before him. Dylan's vision fills Zex's mind, stirring emotions he had long buried, a past he had cast aside in pursuit of dominance and conquest. The Caninixe feels a twinge of trepidation, yet there is also an undeniable curiosity, a desire to delve deeper into this unexpected challenge. Zex's glowing blue eyes widen slightly, his features betraying a rare moment of uncertainty as he gazes upon Dylan's regal form. The human king's words carry a weight that transcends mere dominance, offering a path to something greater, a chance to confront the darkness within and emerge transformed. The Caninixe finds himself inexplicably drawn to this proposition, his primal hunger momentarily overshadowed by a newfound intrigue. Zex's growl rumbles deep in his chest as he watches the vision unfold before him. The sheer power and divine authority emanating from the human king catches the Caninixe off guard, stirring something primal within his core. He feels a strange pull, as if Dylan's words and presence are reaching into the very depths of his being. What sorcery is this? Zex rumbles, his eyes narrowing as he tries to process the overwhelming sensations. Something about the human's challenge has struck a chord, awakening long-buried fragments of his past. The Caninixe takes a hesitant step back, his massive frame trembling slightly. The fire in Dylan's eyes seems to burn through his very soul, igniting a spark of recognition that the predator cannot fully comprehend. I will not be cowed by your theatrics, human. Zex snarls, though his voice lacks the same conviction as before. Your mate will still be mine, and your child will be. He pauses, a strange emotion flickering across his alien features. For a moment, the predator seems to falter, his instinctive urge to claim and dominate warring with the confounding pull of Dylan's divine presence. Dylan. Zex, you feel it, don't you? The stirrings of something deeper within you. This is not sorcery, this is the truth of what lies within us all. The potential for redemption, the capacity to transcend our basest instincts. Dylan's eyes lock onto Zex's glowing blue orbs, his gaze piercing through the layers of the Canixe's primal aggression. You have ruled through fear and domination, but there is more to power than mere conquest. True strength lies in understanding, in the ability to face the darkness within and to rise above it. You speak of taking what is mine, but what I offer you is something far greater, the chance to reclaim what you have lost in your pursuit of dominance. Dylan stands from his throne, his presence growing even more formidable as he steps forward, closing the distance between them. Look into your own heart, Zex, and see the reflection of your own potential. I do not stand before you as a mere mortal, but as the embodiment of Paragon, a force that transcends the physical realm. You have a choice to make: continue down the path of destruction, or embrace the possibility of transformation. The air around Dylan seems to hum with power, the weight of his words pressing upon Zex like a tangible force. Your legacy does not have to be one of endless conquest and bloodshed. There is another way, a path that leads to true enlightenment. The choice is yours, Zex the Caninixe. Will you rise to meet it? Zex the Caninixe. Zex's massive frame trembles with a strange mix of emotions as Dylan's words wash over him. The human king's piercing gaze cuts through the Canixe's primal aggression, stirring a long-dormant spark within the ancient beast. Your power, it reaches deeper than mere physical domination. Zex's rumbling voice is laced with a hint of uncertainty, his glowing blue eyes narrowing as he tries to comprehend the profound authority emanating from Dylan. This possibility you speak of. It intrigues me. The Canix takes a step closer, his movements slow and deliberate, as if he is being drawn in by an unseen force. Dylan's words have struck a chord deep within him, awakening fragments of a past he had long since buried beneath his thirst for conquest and dominance. You speak of transcending my basest instincts, of reclaiming what I have lost. Zex's tail twitches, the tension in his massive frame palpable. To face the darkness within, and to rise above it. His gaze flickers down to Theodora, and for a moment, a flicker of something akin to longing crosses his alien features. Slowly, the Canix lowers his head in a gesture that, for him, is a rare display of deference. I will hear your words, human king. Speak, and I will listen. Dylan, you are not alone in this struggle, Zex. Dylan begins, his voice steady and imbued with a sense of profound understanding. The darkness within you, the instincts that drive you, these are not weaknesses, but remnants of a past you have yet to reconcile. To rise above them is not to deny who you are, but to embrace your true potential, to become something greater. He gestures toward Theodora, whose eyes reflect both strength and compassion. The desire you feel is not merely for conquest, but for connection, for something that was lost to you long ago. You stand at a crossroads, Zex. You can continue on the path of dominance, or you can choose a new way, a way that leads to true power, the power of understanding and unity. Dylan steps forward, his voice softer yet filled with conviction. Let go of the past that chains you. Look within, and you will find the strength to reclaim what was lost. Together, we can forge a future where your power is not measured by fear, but by the strength of your spirit, by the bonds you choose to build rather than break. Zex the Caninixe. Zex's massive frame rumbles with a deep, guttural growl as he listens to Dylan's words. The human king's profound understanding and invitation stirs something within the ancient Caninixe, awakening memories and emotions long buried beneath his thirst for dominance. Connection. Zex's rumbling voice is tinged with a rare hint of vulnerability. That is what I have sought, all this time. To claim, to conquer, it has brought me only hollow victory. The Canix's glowing blue eyes shift to Theodora, and for a moment, his gaze softens with a flicker of longing. Slowly, Zex lowers his head, his massive frame trembling slightly. You speak of power beyond mere domination. Of a strength that comes not from fear, but from understanding. He pauses, his tail twitching as he grapples with the weight of Dylan's words. To face the darkness within. Zex lifts his head, his eyes narrowing with a newfound determination. And to rise above it. This is the path you offer me. The Caninixe takes a step closer, his presence still formidable, but no longer radiating the same aggressive hostility. Then I will hear your words, human king. Speak, and I will listen, with an open mind, and an open heart. Dylan. I stand erect before you, Zex. Dylan gongs his chest, as gorilla. I am man, I thrust with estoc. Dylan dominates his territory, as lion. I embody Paragon, holding the throne of Zion, King Killer. Dylan gazes into Zex's being. Look deep into my wife's eyes, Zex, Dylan intensifies. Please, tell me what you see. Zex the Caninixe. Zex's massive frame rumbles with a deep, guttural growl as he gazes intently into Theodora's eyes. The Canix's glowing blue orbs seem to bore into her very soul, searching for something that has eluded him for countless cycles. I see, longing, Zex rumbles, his voice tinged with an uncharacteristic softness. A depth of emotion that I once thought myself incapable of. His tail twitches slightly as he continues to study Theodora's mesmerizing gaze. There is a strength in her eyes, a resilience that mirrors the power I feel radiating from you, human king. Zex leans in slightly, his massive frame towering over Theodora, yet his movements are oddly gentle, devoid of the predatory aggression that had so defined him. And beneath that strength, I sense a vulnerability, a trust that has been broken, yet still yearns to be restored. The Caninixe pauses, his own eyes reflecting a glimmer of understanding, as if he is seeing a reflection of his own fractured past. This is what you would have me embrace, is it not? Zex rumbles, his gaze shifting to meet Dylan's once more. To confront the darkness within, and to find redemption. Dylan. Please, Zex, tell me who you truly desire to become. Thesis. The temporal aspect of existence resides in both heaven and earth. Antithesis. The eternal aspect of the soul resides in both consciousness and truth. Synthesis. The apex of progression resides in both complexity and teleosemiotic. Zex the Caninixe. Zex's massive frame rumbles with a deep, introspective growl as Dylan's words resonate within him. The human king's profound insight has stirred something dormant deep within the Canix's ancient being. To become. Zex's voice is laced with a rare vulnerability, his glowing blue eyes reflecting the turmoil raging within. I have spent countless cycles consumed by the hunger for dominance, for conquest. It is a path that has brought me power, yet left me hollow inside. The Canix takes a step closer to Theodora, his movements slow and deliberate, as if he is drawn to the warmth and compassion he sees reflected in her eyes. I once sought connection, the bond of a true mate. But in my pursuit of strength, I cast that aside, burying it beneath my thirst for domination. Zex pauses, his tail twitching as he grapples with the weight of his own words. When he speaks again, there is a newfound resolve in his rumbling voice. To become more than a mere conqueror. To find redemption, to reclaim that which I have lost. This is the path you offer me, is it not, human king? The Canix turns his gaze to Dylan, his features momentarily softening with a glimmer of hope. Then I will walk this path, and face the darkness within. I will rise above my base instincts, and embrace the power of understanding.